That's right. Crank that up, Bill.
Whose birthday is it?
Well, Tony, today
Yes.
is the third anniversary of Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
It's our birthday.
It's our birthday. That's
well, happy
right.
birthday, Gene.
Happy birthday right back at you.
3 years, huh?
3 years today.
Man, it seems like, only 5 or 6. We have been very committed to this show, haven't we, Gene?
Oh, it's
every weekend.
It's been a blast.
It has been a blast.
And it has
it's
been a
really
blast broadcasting with you.
It has. This is Where You Live with Gene and Tony, and both of us are broadcasting live from the Concierge Landscape Studios this morning. It's time now for a message from the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. This MHA Minute is brought to you by Pest Control Services. When you need an exterminator, call Greg Keener at Pest Control Services, 952-894-9748. Pest Control Services is a proud member of Angie's List and a member of the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. That's Pest Control Services, 952-894-9748. And tell Greg that Gene and Tony sent you.
If you're renting out a property for the first time, there's a lot you need to know so that you can do it successfully and, frankly, keep yourself out of trouble. Luckily, there's a statewide resource with all the tools you need to run your new business successfully. In fact, the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association regularly holds a seminar called Accidental Landlord, specifically designed for people who are renting out a property for the first time. They also have residential leases, security deposit agreements, a lead disclosure, and lots of other forms. They even have brochures on the principles of successful property management and the eviction process that you can download for free. So if you want to know more about the Accidental Landlord Seminar or other classes about owning, managing, or maintaining anything from a single unit to a growing apartment portfolio, visit the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association's website, mmha.com. That's 2 M's, mmha.com.
Before we get back to the mold lawsuit in Baltimore, I have a couple items of business. Last week, we talked about an article that was regarding transfer of smells, of odors from unit to unit in a multi-unit building, and transfer of secondhand smoke, and the concern that's causing many homeowner associations and state legislatures are starting to look at legislating this issue. I know you and I were both involved with this committee as advisors, and in the apartment industry, this issue is huge. The market seems to be demanding more smoke-free buildings. And I promised to bring this information, a contact to just get info about how to transition from a smoky building, I guess you'd say, one that allows smoking to one that is smoke-free. The organization is called Live Smoke Free, and they've published a booklet for an apartment manager's guide. I think they also will have something for a condo management guide. At least that was their goal. Their phone number is 651-646-3005, 651-646-3005, or www.mnsmokefreehousing.org. Another piece of business, I have some landlord-tenant info to share. This is again about the Tenants' Bill of Rights, which was passed by Minnesota state legislation in 2010. Property left behind by a tenant, the rules about that have changed. Before the Tenants' Bill of Rights, the landlord had to store this property for 60 days, anything deemed of value. Now, we usually took that to mean if it was a piece of furniture, if it was clothing, if it was photo albums, if it was something, that was a thing of value. Opened food, not a thing of value. We were able to trash that. But in the old days, we had to store it for 60 days in case the vacating tenant came back. This has been changed. And tenants, you need to be aware of this. This has been changed to 28 days. So quite a bit less time is required for the landlord to keep property.
28 days, but now they have to also allow the food products, so they have to keep the cheese whiz too. And
No, I didn't mean to imply that. If I did, that was a mistake. The landlord can be held liable for disposing of the property early, as much as triple the damages, or $1,000, whichever is greater. So landlords have stronger fines for this, but tenants, they're not going to keep it longer than 28 days. I also, for landlords, I would suggest you take pictures of anything you dispose of and keep those on hand so that you just have documentation of what's what.
Yeah. Well, besides the law, when it comes to Twinkies, I think Twinkies just keep all the time.
That's true. Twinkies you do have to keep. Whether they're opened or not. That's a good point. Yeah. Not to be splitting any hairs or anything. All right. Let's get back to this, Gene. You have more to say about this mold lawsuit in Baltimore.
Yes. If you're just joining us, we're talking about a gentleman who said, hey, I bought a unit over $1.15 million. Mm-hmm. Nobody disclosed in the disclosure that there have been issues with mold in the building. The question was asked specifically: is there anything? Is there anything that you're aware of? The HOA said no.
Right.
And so now he's suing. Couple points to bring up. Not that the person should not be suing, but number one, the bottom line is, even though you're a homeowner in the association, when you sue the association, you're suing yourself too.
True. That's true. You're going to share in the cost.
You're going to share in the cost. You probably have more to gain, probably than the others. But still, you want to think about that. And I think that that's important enough of a fact to realize before you move ahead. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the thinking is on arbitration versus going to court. Mm-hmm. My guess is that when you go through mediation and arbitration, it's probably there's probably less of a cost.
Yeah, probably.
Wouldn't you think?
Well, and
I mean, I know the difference.
I think the reason it's recommended is because you come up with a settlement between the two parties. You're not paying lawyers.
Yes.
You're not having it weighted heavily on one side or the other.
And I think the reason why this homeowner is wanting to go with a lawsuit is because he's not asking only for his money back and leaving.
Yeah.
He's also asking for damages.
Yeah.
And when you get to damages, I think he's hoping that he's got a case that is going to win over a jury and be able to gain additional money.
The other dynamic here, I think, is the fact that he's a brand new homeowner in this association. Mm-hmm. I can see a homeowner that's been there for a while, has some history with the association. Arbitration would probably be more valid or more attractive to someone who's been there for a while. But boy, if I was practically speaking,
brand new.
If I were a new homeowner and I found this out, I'd be spitting mad.
Okay. Yeah, I see that point.
Yeah.
The other important point, of course, arbitration is binding, just like a lawsuit.
Sure.
The other issue is mediation. If they went that way, that wouldn't. That's just in hopes of
is that the difference?
Yeah,
okay.
Mediation is just, we're trying to bring you together to come to an agreement yourself.
Okay.
And so that's what's happening here. And what has been what the judge decided upon here was not who was responsible. It was just, do we have to go through arbitration or can we do a lawsuit? And he was just opening up the lawsuit.
Yep.
Now there's no lawsuit. Now they're going to have to, the association and this person's going to have to go through everything that they need to deal with who knew what and when. And I think this is also important, that this is not necessarily a lawsuit that says anytime mold is found in an association, this is automatically a red flag that goes against the association and their responsibility to take care of.
Sure, because that's often not the case. It could be deferred maintenance by a homeowner that's caused mold.
Well, yes.
Caulk around the tub that's cracked and broken, tiles that are broken.
You're right. Yeah. In the article, they also referred to the idea that the association may have been negligent. Again, I think that's a statement that could be the case, but I think it is. People are so quick to add to that when they say that an association board is negligent. A lot of times, what they mean is the homeowners have not given them the go-ahead to charge more money to be able to do more work.
Yeah, true.
And so it's not just negligence of the board. But hey, folks, don't go away. We've got a whole nother hour of Where You Live. We've got a lot more to cover. We want to hear from you too, but we've got to take a break. We'll be back after these messages with more Where You Live with Gene and Tony on AM 1280, The Patriot.
How sweet it is to be loved.